So, are you feeling stuck today? I get that. I have totally been where you are. Many women in the middle of their lives suddenly wake up one morning and they don't feel like they recognize life anymore. Everything that they knew, everything that was comfortable and predictable and just common in life isn't there anymore. It's changed. The kids are grown and gone, and maybe life has thrown you some curveballs you didn't see coming. I mean, that happens to all of us, right? Maybe you just retired, or you've lost a parent, or something has shifted to make the world feel uncertain under your feet, and you're just not really sure what the next right thing to do is. Okay, I have been there, and I totally get it. So I took a road trip by myself, and it was a life-changing experience. Let's just let that sit there for a second. Kind of a big claim, right? Okay, so let's say you buy into this. You're thinking, wow, maybe I could do that. But then it very quickly becomes this overwhelming, doubtful, fear-filled kind of thing in so many ways. But yet exciting. But the fear. And you think, okay, I wouldn't know where to start. How do I even get organized? What is even important if I'm planning a road trip by myself? I've never done anything like that before. Where do I stay? What do I eat? How far am I comfortable driving every day? I don't really read a map very well. How much is it going to cost? Those are all the things, right? And you could probably come up with 20 more, and that's okay. I can totally help you. Hi, this is Bing from WonderBing Travel, and I have been doing this for a long time, and I can help you sort out what's important and what's not, what you need to know, what you don't, if you're going to take a solo road trip. And I highly recommend doing it. It's an awesome way to get out of a stuck place in your life and see your way forward into something new and promising. When you're getting ready to travel and when you're on the road, both of those things, knowing how to focus your time and energy properly can really make the difference between that wonderful experience or a stressful one. So I'm doing a series of videos. This is actually the first one that's going to guide you through creating a bit of a plan to check those practical boxes and also fits your specific personality so that it will allow plenty of room for you to explore and find freedom and wonder, which is really what is at the core of a solo road trip. You're going to have lots of opportunity to think through all the different areas that we'll talk about and then figure out what works best for you, because it really is all about you. And then the result is a strategy that is all yours, a personal planning profile of sorts. So many women feel stuck at this juncture of their lives, like we said, unsure how to move forward in a meaningful way. I've been taking solo road trips for quite a few years now, and every single one of them has, in its own way, changed my life, changed my outlook, changed my world. But it really was that first one that really got me from the stuck to the unstuck place. And that's what I want to help other women find in their lives, a way forward when they're feeling stuck in their current situation. So I've actually written a book on this topic. It's called There's Wonder Around the Bend. It's an inspiring guide for solo road tripping, and it really equips and inspires and gives women the practical and the spiritual and the mental, all of the different pieces to really help you step out in faith and seek freedom and wonder on the road. And I'm offering you a free chapter of it today. And the chapter really explores reasons why taking a solo road trip just might be the thing to help you move forward in your life. So please go to wonderbingtravel.com/sneak peek and you can download your free chapter. The link is down in the description below as well. So let's talk a little bit about what those big nuggets are that you have to consider if you are going to take a solo road trip. And these are the practical things that we're talking about. But please know that the goal behind everything that I talk about and teach and share with women is really, the goal behind that is to seek wonder, is to be able to find freedom on the road. It is not just a checkbox. It is not a list of things you need to do. You can do that at home. So please leave that behind and know that we are, at our core, we are seeking wonder. But to find that, I do believe that there are quite a few practical things that you need to entertain and master so that you can let it all go when you're traveling by yourself on the road. Whether you're setting out for a month or maybe it's just for a day or two, and that's totally fine. That's a great way to start. Taking some time to realistically, anticipate a general strategy that you love is definitely worth its weight in free gasoline, for example, because that would be like gold these days, right? This video isn't about plotting and planning the details of each day in advance. No, that is definitely not what WonderBing Travel is about. That's not what my book, There's Wonder Around the Bend, is about. Notice the wonder word is really prevalent in all of this. But today, we are considering the beginnings of figuring out a plan that you'd be comfortable with. And it's one that provides confidence and just the right amount of flexibility. It's about sitting back and thinking about what will bring you joy and how to travel comfortably and keep the door open to wonder every day. So even if you're more likely to wing it a good bit of the time, taking some time to consider the big picture will help you make the most of all that spontaneity. And don't dial back on the spontaneity, like ramp it up. I'm all for it. But as women, I think it's super important that we learn some things to keep our awareness levels up and also just take really good care of ourselves. In a previous 2-part video series, I discussed practicing self-care and peace of mind while you're on the road. If you haven't seen those, check them out here because they lay some of the groundwork for these pillars of planning that we're going to talk about. But how do we take that leap from making sure that you get a good cup of coffee and a shower, because that's important, at least to me, all the way to I feel confident and comfortable traveling on the road for a few weeks or a day or whatever it is. So after years of trial and error, and please know there's many errors that are built into all of this, and I'm hoping to save you from some of them, and plenty of wandering and plenty of wondering, I have come to the point where I believe these 6 pillars of planning actually allow you to create a profile that will set you up for wonder. And they are budget, time and distance, navigation, lodging, and food. Food is very important. Regardless of how and where you decide to road trip, all of these are going to factor into your adventures. And it's essential that we understand the big picture of how they play into your decision making because you are going to be on your own and you want to feel confident. I can't stress that enough. And if you're a little bit afraid, that's okay. It's a healthy thing. As we investigate each one of these things, though, keep in mind that they're going to overlap and intertwine. For example, you can't talk about creating a budget for a trip without considering where you're going to stay or what you're going to eat. And you can't plan the distance of your travel without paying attention to how much time you have to make the trip. So none of them are in a vacuum. They all overlap, and each one is pretty important. So I'm going to do a video for each one. This one is just an overview. So my own approach to planning a road trip, it's pretty intuitive after all these years. It was hard fought though, and it took me a long while to get it right, or close to right. It's always morphing and changing. I'm getting older. I see things differently. I'm going to new places, and I have to tweak. But that's okay. I mean, otherwise, what would be the point of going at all if it was always the same over and over again? And every day when you're out there, it plays out in its own unique manner. So I'm confident knowing that when unexpected things happen, that I can get back on track because I have a strong sense of what my needs are and my planning profile and what works for me. Whether you're going to travel for 2 days or 22 days, the principles for creating this plan remain the same. So even if you're planning for a really short trip, I advise you to go through the steps because that is what is going to set you up for wonder and freedom on the road. So there's a whole series coming where we'll do a deep dive into each one of these pillars. And in my book, There's Wonder Around the Bend, I wrote an entire chapter on each one of these things. So let me help you turn your wander into wonder, and I hope that you will find joy in your journey. Stay tuned, and I will see you on the road.